Hello, hello, hello. Miss Williams here today. And guess what? It's my turn to read you guys a story again. And we're going to talk about fairness today. So I found a great story for today, and it is called Cutting in Line Isn't Fair. Let's get started. Latasha patted her hair as she walked to the front of the bus stop line. Is she trying to take cuts? Asked Jessie. You know, Latasha, said Rachel. Jessie and Rachel watched as Latasha talked to a girl in the front of the line. The girl shook her head. I knew it, said Jessie. She's trying to cut in the line. Latasha doesn't like to wait, said Rachel. I don't like to wait either, replied Jessie. Here comes the bus, said Rachel. Jessie picked up her backpack. Look at that, said Jessie. Latasha is in front of us in the line. What? Asked Rachel as she turned around. They gave her cuts, said Jessie. That's not fair. She with Megan, said Rachel. She's still cut in line, said Jessie. The kids climbed into the bus one by one. I'll look for a window seat, said Jessie. Then we can sit together. Okay, said Rachel. Well, all of the window seats were taken. Rachel followed Jessie to the back of the bus. The bus was so full they had to sit in separate rows. The bus driver closed the front door and drove to the next stop. Jessie sat next to a boy she didn't know. I wish I could sit with Rachel, thought Jessie. Jessie looked at the front of the bus. Latasha was sitting by a window. She cut in line, got to sit by a window, thought Jessie. No fair. Mrs. K took attendance for the day. This morning, the third grade was going to the library. Jessie and Rachel lined up with Mrs. K, called their roll. I want to read the next Mystery Girls book, said Jessie. I want to read the one you have now, said Rachel. Let's ask the librarian to check the book out in your name, said Jessie. Then Latasha walked by. Not again, said Jessie. Look, she walked right up to the front of the line. She's talking to Megan, said Rachel. Look, Megan gave her cut, said Jessie. Again. Latasha and Megan are friends, said Rachel. I know that, said Jessie, but taking cuts isn't fair. Mrs. K class walked down the hall to the library. Put your books in the book drop, said the librarian. Take a shelf marker. Jessie walked up to the librarian. Can my friend Rachel check out my old book? Of course, said the librarian. Let me check the book in. She put the book under the scanner. Beep. Now Rachel can check it out, said the librarian. Thank you, said Jessie. Thank you, said Rachel. Let's get the new Mystery Girls book, said Jessie. Jessie and Rachel walked over to the shelf, but the book wasn't there. Where did it go? Asked Jessie. Rachel looked around the library. Latasha has it. Latasha, said Jessie. She took cuts and now she has my book. That's not fair. What are you going to do? Asked Rachel. I'm going to ask her for my book, said Jessie. Jessie walked up to Latasha. May I have that book, please? What? Asked Latasha. You cut in line and took the book I wanted, said Jessie. I did not, said Latasha. Yes, you did, said Jessie. The book was just sitting there on the shelf, said Latasha. You weren't there. I wasn't there because you took cuts, said Jessie. Twice. Twice? Asked Latasha. You took cuts at the bus stop, too, said Jessie. We weren't at school yet, said Latasha. It's still not fair, said Jessie. You took cuts at the bus stop and took the last window seat. It's just a seat, Latasha said. It didn't matter. If it didn't matter, then why did you take cuts, said Jessie. Why not, said Latasha. The other people were there before you, said Jessie. Megan saved my place, said Latasha. Doesn't Rachel do that for you? Jessie looked at Rachel. Rachel shrugged. Sometimes, said Jessie. So you take cuts too, said Latasha. Well, said Jessie, I guess I do. I don't like to wait, said Latasha. Nobody does, said Jessie, but that doesn't make it right to cut. Latasha gave Jessie a look. Even when I do it, said Jessie. Latasha looked at the book. Here, she said, I can read it next. Thanks, said Jessie. I'll save it for you. Latasha smiled at Jessie and said, "Good. Then I won't have to cut in line." The girls all laughed. I hope you guys enjoyed my reading today. Okay, this is Miss Williams once again. Have a great day.